We haven't given you all an update in a couple of weeks, and we've had a lot of big things happen, so we figured we would finally share all the stuff that's going on.
We were going to share it week by week, but it just got so busy, and with visits, and I go to the doctor twice a week, and it was just all cluttered together. So we're just going to give you a huge update, honestly.
Yeah, well, we had Asher's birthday, and then we had something the week before.
A baby sprinkle.
Baby sprinkle. So we've had all these events, so it's been hard to sit down because he hasn't even napped. And that's when he naps is when we film YouTube videos. So if he doesn't nap, we can't film a YouTube video. Unless it's like a vlog of our day, but we can't sit down and just update.
Because he would not let us just sit and talk to a camera. He would want our full attention.
Yeah, I would just feel bad to sit here and talk to a camera while he's playing in the corner, so...
Well, our first doctor's appointment at 34 weeks, was it? 34? No, 33. 33.
Maybe it was 32. Are we talking about the induction date?
Yeah, 33 I was given the induction date.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. And we went in, did our routine things. She saw the baby was measuring ahead. Yeah. We already knew he was a week ahead because where our due date was pushed up, then they pushed it back. So they've been on the fence of like the weeks that we're at, but... he was like 4 pounds and 12 ounces then. We haven't had a growth scan since, so we really don't know how big his size is now. We do have one this week. So our next video will have a huge update in it.
Yeah. Are you calling him huge? Is that like kind of what you were joking about?
I mean, I feel huge, but I feel like he's not as big as I think he's going to be.
It has been confirmed we are not going to go full term, which we already knew going into this, but a lot of people get confused with the diabetes and the going early. So I'm going to let Lexi explain more of that because I don't necessarily know. I just know that diabetics typically have bigger babies.
Yes. So with Asher, we had our induction scheduled for 37 weeks, I think a couple of days. It was because it was on the weekend.
It would have been 37, but we wanted it to be on Halloween.
Yeah, like we got to pick the date of the induction because everything was going good. But when I went in for my 36-week checkup, I got checked and I was at a 2.5. And she basically said she felt the water sac. She was like, you're definitely going to be going into labor before your induction date. And I did that night. So my body already prepares itself early, and we knew it was going to be doing this.
And that was because we put up all our Christmas decor that day after the doctor's appointment. And then that night, as soon as we lay down, like we got our showers, got everything ready for bed, and we lay down, and Lexi was like, my water's breaking. And I was like, oh gosh.
I literally like felt my stomach pop, and I got up, and it just went everywhere.
It's such a surreal feeling, especially like with your first.
I know, you're like, oh my gosh, what do we do? And I'm like, we go to the ER. We have this baby. Like, I don't know what else.
Yeah, that was crazy.
But they usually do inductions with diabetic babies. Not all. Some can go longer. It just depends on how you're tracking, how your numbers look, if you develop preeclampsia at the end. There's so many things that go into effect, but I feel like the main reason is because when diabetics have bigger babies due to the insulin in their body coming more in, and then it is more risk for the baby getting stuck, of the baby having complications, needing an emergency C-section. There's a lot of like risk factors that go with having bigger babies.
Yeah, we don't know everything, so like we're not doctors.
No.
We don't know.
There's definitely more that comes with it. That's just what the big concern with my pregnancy was with the diabetes, because Asher was born at 36 weeks and was 7 pounds and 1 ounce.
Yeah, and then we have our induction for 37 weeks this time. So
I know.
So yeah, so based on our experience, it is early every time. And
this video is filmed when I'm going on week 35.
Yeah.
So I'm technically 34 in 5 days.
Yeah. And your doctor did say that most go, I think she said at latest it'd be like 39 usually.
And we wanted to try for 38 just to see how long we could go, but she feels great with it being 37. There has been possible still talk about if we go in for this week, this is the big week of measurement to decide if a C-section is the better way than vaginal. And I'm going to do whatever my doctors feel is the best for me. If you watched or knew about Asher's birth, he did get stuck on the way out, but it wasn't long.
Yeah.
And it could be because he came so fast. And I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
I really don't think he got stuck.
He came really fast.
He came way, way fast. Like, I was in labor for 3 hours total. So, I mean...
And only pushing for like...
14 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say it's around 15.
It was crazy. So, I'm like, if I can do another, like, non-C-section way. I don't want to say what it is because it might like demonetize. But I want to still try to have him as natural as I can. And if I cannot, if my doctor thinks there's a risk, I want to plan a C-section over an emergency C-section because emergency is so scary and I don't want to be in labor. Because if I go in for my induction and know that I'm not like dilated like I was with Asher or not progressed, I know the writer's like,
he's like, can I please join in?
He's like, let me love on you.
He's like, I have something to say about this.
The cats this entire like last bit of pregnancy have been like nonstop like loving. Ryder's always been my lover, but Sissy, I don't know where she is, but she's
in her loving mode right now too.
She is, but that's our plan, and we'll obviously our next update we'll have more. We gotta
get to the next part.
Well, I'm saying that's our update for the delivery, like the induction and stuff.
I thought you were like in the video.
Oh no, we still have.
We got more to say
our next visit to talk about, but our next video will be about our 35-week appointment, and we will have more clear answers on if we're keeping our induction date the same or if it's going to be moved to a C-section. So then that leads us to our following appointment, which was a little bit more wild. Yeah. I went in, I didn't do a stress test. I've been going in once a week for a non-stress test than my doctor's appointment. And stress tests, the non-stress tests have been looking great. It's basically just to monitor the baby's heart rate, the way it's going, the patterns, to check my blood pressure, all good. Well, then I go for my weekly checkup with my doctor. I went in and my doctor was like, ooh, you're looking puffy. And obviously you're going to look puffy, you're going to look big in the end of pregnancy, but there's the risk of preeclampsia that comes with being puffy and bloated in your feet, in your face, that you have to really watch for because preeclampsia is a very scary thing. And if you know about it or if you ever had it, you know how terrifying it is. And with Asher, I developed it like right as I was giving birth.
Yeah, it was like after they were like, oh, I think you have it.
And I think my doctor now definitely thinks I had it right before and they just didn't catch it. Because of how, my legs were huge. Like, they were so puffy, and they had me on medicine. But this time was all good. I'm checking my blood pressure at home. Morning and night, I'm trying to stay elevated, trying to stay resting. But nesting for me right now is, like, full-on max mode.
Yeah.
Like,
she's either doing something or, like, right before we filmed this video, she was downstairs just sitting on the couch while I was getting Asher some food before I laid him down. And then I look over, and she just...
I literally fell asleep and I had no clue.
And I was like, this just describes third trimester so much. I just look over and you're sleeping.
Well, my blood sugar was low and I ate something. And my blood sugar was low when I go to bed anyways. And my phone was upstairs charging. So I just was like, I'm just going to lay here with my eyes closed.
Yeah.
And I fell asleep. And then another big factor was we go over my blood sugars when we are there every week. Because it's awesome. My doctor's 2-in-1. I don't have to see 2 like I did with Asher. And she was like, your blood sugars are amazing. But... even though that's good, it's like, okay, your blood sugars are supposed to be, like, the hardest to control right now with you being this close to the end. And she was like, 1, your body's telling us it's preparing for birth. Or 2, your placenta is having something going on and your body could be trying to get preeclampsia. So she definitely thinks I'm going to go earlier. And with it being week 35, it literally could be this week, or next week, or the beginning of the week after. Like, we have like 2.5 weeks to determine if we're going to be early or not compared to 37. So it's just a lot up in the air. But blood sugars are good. It's a great thing.
Yeah. But also not great at the same time. So weird.
Yeah, so we're just praying and hoping it's in God's will. I'm doing my stretches, doing my dates, and my tea, which I did talk to my doctor about. Some people are like, it's really early. It's early for people that are supposed to start at 37. Because if you're going to 40, you'd start at 37 to be a weeks ahead. And with me going early, I started mine around like 33 every other couple days. And then 34. And then now I'm doing it every night, drinking my tea and my dates. And that's what I do with Asher. I don't know if it worked. I really do not have any test to that besides I'm active. And with having a toddler, I feel like my body's moving along well, but time will tell in our doctor's appointment. But there's just so much going on right now with like the baby and everything that I'm like, but luckily we have no big plans, just waiting for the baby.
Yeah. I will say it is a little more scary if you go as fast as you did last time because Nashville traffic, depending on like what time.
But luckily we have luckily we have a hospital nearby. We don't have to go all the way.
Then I don't know if they would like cover the expenses.
Yeah, they will, because I've been at that hospital before. That was my
I don't
original...
trust health insurance. Okay, I'll say that. They terrify me. I like to go to places I know have already covered like stuff.
But the good thing is my doctor says whatever day she checks me, if she checks me and she sees I'm exactly like I was with Asher, she will go ahead and have me come in that night or figure out things, and then we can get Bub situated. A lot of people have been asking on what we're doing with Asher, and it's like we have our backup people around here.
Yeah, so if it happens like extremely fast, we have people that he will go to until family gets here, and then they will bring him to our house.
It just depends on if like my water breaks and I go right away, or if my water breaks and we have a little bit of time. We have someone that will either meet us here, or we're going to go to the hospital and they're going to meet us there to stay with him till family can get here, and we have our family tracked out on who all's going to be with him.
Or if you go to your induction date, which would be the easiest, obviously, to plan for him.
I'm honestly fine with whatever. Like, obviously, I want this baby out right away, but then I also want him to cook as long as he can, so there's no, like, extra things that have to happen.
Yeah.
So it's great that he is ahead, because technically he would be looking at 36 weeks this week. So that's always good. So if we went at 36, he'd be looking at 37.
But we don't really know because we haven't had a growth scan in a couple weeks.
I know. I'm excited for this week's later on appointment and to just see how everything is. Everything's going. My doctor obviously will feel more around like the baby and stuff. See if he's dropped more. Just like go from there at that appointment. That's all we have for now. Thank you guys so much for watching.
We love you. So does Jesus. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.